Welcome to News and Brews with the Times, where we spill the tea on what's happening in Hall County, Georgia. It's July 28th, 2025. In today's episode, we've got murder, drugs, a woman whose sentence included a donation to Meals on Wheels, and school starts this week for the Hall County kids. Good morning, I'm Shannon Casas.
And I'm Stacy Smith. Now, grab your favorite brew and take a sip as we guide you through what's been happening in Hall County. Don't forget, you can also find all of the stories we talk about this week at the link in our show notes or on GainesvilleTimes.com.
A Gainesville man is charged with stabbing his wheelchair-bound neighbor to death.
Oh my goodness. That sounds intense. Where did this happen?
It happened at Walton Summit Apartments, like on E. Butler.
Okay. Yeah, I know where you're talking about. So do we know anything about the individuals in this case and whether or not they knew each other in an intimate way or the details of their relationship?
We don't have details on the relationship. We just know that the suspect lived down the hall from the victim.
Oh, wow. And when did this happen?
So it actually happened back in November 16th, but the suspect was just arrested.
Oh, wow. So almost a year later, the suspect was arrested. He's a neighbor. I wonder what got him on their radar or what initiated the arrest.
So the arrest happened because of a road rage investigation.
What?
But it's not clear how it went from that to, well, now we know that he may be involved in this murder case.
Well, it's definitely interesting, and we'll be following up on the details of that.
Yeah. So like I said, just arrested. So we'll be following that through the court system.
A woman was recently sentenced for a crash that happened on New Year's Day in 2024. She hit a pedestrian in a crosswalk and he died a few weeks later.
Where did that happen?
This also happened on E.E. Butler and Summit. She was taking an improper left turn, according to the case, and struck the man in the crosswalk.
That's so sad.
It really is.
So what kind of sentence did she get for that case?
Well, her sentencing was 2 years probation, a $200 donation to Meals on Wheels, and more than $1,500 in fines and surcharges.
That donation to Meals on Wheels is interesting.
It is interesting. And while I, of course, support donations of that sort, it's curious to me and a lot of other people on Instagram why that was a part of her sentencing. And like, is that a normal thing? Why that amount? There's just a lot of questions for me personally about that. In addition to the donation and the 2 years probation and the fines, her license has also been suspended for 12 months and she has to attend defensive driving school.
Four people have now pleaded guilty in a drug bust from 2023.
Oh, wow. What kind of drugs?
Meth and fentanyl, and a good amount of it, a kilo of meth.
How much is a kilo?
I don't know for sure, but the GBI didn't provide information on how much the drugs was worth, but based on our previous reporting, we can guess that it was about $100,000 worth total.
Wow, so that is a good bit of drugs. And there were 4 people involved in this?
So there were actually 5, but charges were dismissed for one of them, and then the other 4 pleaded guilty.
Curious. What did they plead guilty to, and what are their what's their penalties?
Yeah, so with it being 4 people, there's a lot of charges that they pleaded guilty to in different sentences. So if you want the full breakdown, go to that story at GainesvilleTimes.com. But I will say that the last one to plead guilty, it was to trafficking meth, and he got 25 years in prison and $2.2 million in fines and surcharges.
Oh, wow. That is a huge amount of fines. Makes you wonder how he's ever going to pay that back. But I'm very glad that the drugs are off of the streets. And school starts this Friday. And when it starts, there will be several new principals starting in Hall County.
Yeah, that's exciting. That's a big deal for those schools, I'm sure.
Yeah.
Which schools is it?
So there are 6 new principals starting. We've got 2 high schools. Flowery Branch High School is getting an interim principal. East Hall High has a new principal starting. Cherokee Bluff Middle School, Chicopee Woods Elementary, Sugar Hill Elementary, and Everwood also has a new principal starting.
So tell me about Everwood.
Yeah, so as we know, this is the combination of schools from McKever and Oakwood Elementary, and they formed the new school, Everwood. So the principal from McKever is coming over in the consolidation, and she will be the principal for the new school.
Nice. So probably some changes at those schools, and it's always good to kind of get to know your principal as the school year starts.
Yeah, you want to know that they're going to be in charge of disciplining in the way that works for you and your child. You want to know that they're going to have your back and have your child like their priority. But hopefully most parents don't have to get called to the principal's office too many times throughout the year.
So the principal really helps set the tone for school and kind of the expectations for the teachers and the safety and just everything. Like, they're the ones responsible.
Yeah. And from my perspective as a student, they were kind of just like the school cheerleader. That's really, if you're not getting called to the principal's office, that's how you just see them just walking around like high-fiving students. And
yeah, we've definitely had some stories on like well-loved principals like that, the kids know them and kind of they try to build a rapport with them.
For sure. Well, hopefully all of these principals have a great start to their year and are welcomed by the students and faculty.
And open houses are also happening all week in schools across Hall County.
Yeah, that's right. And school starts for Hall County on this Friday, and Gainesville is next week.
Hall's open houses are like the beginning of the week, and then I believe Gainesville's are at the end of the week since they're not starting until next Tuesday. A lot of theirs are like July 31st, August 1st. So open house is always like an exciting time. You're starting to go into the schools again, go meet your teacher, go talk with the bus drivers. Like it's a big deal, at least in the schools that we're at.
Yeah, and I never went to an open house, so I don't really even know what happens there.
A lot happens. You walk in and you figure out where you're supposed to be, whether you want to start in the gym to go talk with the bus drivers, figure out when the bus is going to come. Then you might stop at the cafeteria. They might have some snacks.
So is it more for the parents or more for the students?
It's really both. Like, the kids get to go meet their teacher. Sometimes they'll drop off school supplies, kind of, get the lay of the land before they're actually there for the first day. But then, the parents get to see all of that too, what they're sending their kids to, and ask the teacher questions. Like that is a great face-to-face time with them.
Yeah, I bet. Sounds fun. A lot of fanfare.
There is some fanfare. It's a lot of sensory input for me personally when you go into a school and there's so many kids and all this like bouncing off the walls, and I need to find my loop earplugs and I don't know where they are.
Well, you've got a little bit of time.
A little bit.
That's funny. All right. Well, check out GainesvilleTimes.com. We've got a list of all of the open houses this week and times and locations, of course. They'll also be in the show notes. Before we go today, I have an awesome update on a story we talked about last week. Jennifer Clayton, the lady whose son's frog figurine went missing from his gravesite, reached out and let us know that frog figurine has been found.
That's great.
Yes.
Where was it found?
I don't know exactly where it was found, but she did say it was some distance away from the grave, but still within the park.
So in the cemetery.
Yeah, in the cemetery. The associates found it and reached out to her.
To support the kind of journalism you heard on today's podcast, you can subscribe to The Times. Plans start at $7 a month. There's a link in our show notes for that, as well as all the stories you heard about on the podcast today.
Another way to support us is to rate and review us on your podcast app. That really goes a long way in helping others learn about News and Brews. And we'd also love to hear from you. You can reach us at podcastadmin@GainesvilleTimes.com. Please join us again next week and tell your friends.